That cold start. What's up guys, Chuck here for a little bit different type of video. We're not in the garage today, we're out in the WRX STI cruising around, actually on my way to work. But I watched a video last night from Street Speed 717 Mike. He just bought a new Z06. Go check out his channel, his link will be below. Watched a video last night where he talked about, he gets a lot of questions about how does he afford such a nice car at such a young age. And this car is, probably half the price of what he paid for his Z06, but it's still, a $40,000, $35,000 car is still a pretty expensive car to a lot of people. And I still get a lot of questions regarding like, how do you afford an STI? Can I afford an STI? And just kind of like general people asking for advice. What kind of money do you need to make to be able to afford a car like this? Anyway, I thought it might be interesting to talk about, kind of my journey to buying my dream car, dream car to some other people. I like to call it my attainable dream car because it's not something that you have to spend $100,000, $200,000 on. But yeah, let's just talk about quickly how I afford this car / my M3 and what you guys can do to take steps to affording it yourself. So how do I afford my WRX STI, Chuck? How do you do it? Well, I have a job, and my situation's a little bit different than Mike over at Street Speed. I thought it was interesting. He said, he's got friends that have nice cars as well, and all of them kind of do different things to get enough money together to afford whatever it is, a Z06, a Lamborghini, a Golf R, etc. These are all obviously very differing levels of car and price, but everybody's situation is unique, and you got to figure out what works for you and how do you harness your passions or your interests into success. And success means different things to everybody as well. Success to one person might be being financially independent, owning a business and whatever, not having to work for somebody. Success to somebody else might be, I just want to have food on the table and be able to travel and do all this crazy, world travel and stuff. Success to somebody else might be, I want to have an apartment and, a GTR, whatever. I get it. I'm a car guy. If I could live in a cardboard box and drive a Lamborghini Huracan, I probably would. I'm also realistic. I like to be, fiscally responsible. I like to think about the future. I like to save money for retirement, etc. I'm only in my 20s. It's not like, this beard might make me look like I'm like 45, but I'm not, I promise. I'm a few years out of college, just like most of you dudes. But I have an STI. And how do I have an STI? Well, I sort of prioritized right out of college, getting rid of things like student loans, any sort of other debt that you can't absolve quickly. What I mean by debt that you can't absolve quickly is something that you have to pay down to get rid of. You cannot sell whatever, a car, a house to, take care of the loan. I'm one of those people that if I have debt, it's got to be something like this car, for instance. This car is financed, but it's financed for less than it is worth. And I try to keep it always in the black. If you start getting upside down on a car or a house is when the loan no longer becomes quickly absolvable. And basically what that means, if this car is worth $30,000, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say this car is worth $30,000 and I owe $20,000 on it. If something happens and I have to get rid of my car payment every month, I can sell this car for $30,000, get a little bit of money out of it, and not have to worry about the payment anymore. Maybe take that, whatever, 10 grand or whatever I get out of it and put it towards a Honda Civic just to drive for the time being. House is the same thing. I'm married, I have a kid, I have to pay for things like there are payments every month that I can't get rid of. Obviously daycare, I have to go to work, I gotta put my kid in daycare. My house payment, I have to live somewhere, so if that's a house or an apartment, you basically will always have that unless you want to stay home and live with your parents or live with a friend, etc. Not knocking any of that, but it just depends on your situation. So I sort of prioritize getting out of college, what I'm going to get rid of, what kind of debt I wanted to get rid of, and how could I afford the rest of the things of my life, and also how do I fit a car in there. So forever I had a $30,000 cap. I didn't want to spend anything above $30K for a car because I knew if I went above $30K it pushed the car payments outside of whatever I felt comfortable with. $300-400 a month on a car is reasonable in a lot of people's eyes. Once you start getting above 500 bucks a month, you might start having people go, oh God, I don't want to pay that much a month. That's a lot of money. And it is a lot of money, but it depends what you want to drive. So something like a WRX STI, $35,000, $40,000, if you put nothing down or a few $1,000s down, you're probably going to be in the $500, $600, $700 a month, depending on options and spec. That's a lot of money every month, especially to consider you're going to be paying that for 4 or 5 years. That's a long time, and eventually the warranty runs out, and you still might be making payments. Forgive me, this road is crazy bumpy, but yeah, it's just something that you have to prioritize in your life. You have to set goals and decide, where do I want to be in a couple years? Where do I want to be right now? Can you afford an STI? Maybe. I don't really know everybody's financial situations, but it pays to do some research and to set goals. What does that mean? So set your goal. If your goal is to own a GTR, be realistic. Say I want to own a GTR by the time I'm 30. You got to look and see what does my financial situation look like? How can I make that happen? Look up the GTR you want to buy. Is the GTR you want to buy $100,000? Go online and look and say, hey, it's $100,000. If I don't put any money down, it's going to cost me, I don't know, $1,000 a month. I'm not good at those numbers, but it's going to cost me $1,000 a month. Do I have $1,000 a month to put towards a GTR? I don't. Will I in 5 years? If I look at my general raise rates and my life situation, maybe I'm single, maybe I'm not, whatever. If I don't have $1,000 a month, I can't buy the $1,000 a month extra, I can't buy the GTR. So then you have to think about, okay, I need $1,000 a month, but if I put more money down, it's going to bring down my monthly payment. Okay, so I could save money for the next year, 2 years, whatever, and get, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000 to put down, and now my payment comes down to $700, $800 a month. Maybe I can afford that. Just, you have to figure out, this is my goal. How do I achieve it? Part of achieving your goal is figuring out your path to achieve it. If you just sit on your couch and don't do anything and just wish that you had an STI or wish that you had a Z06, it's not going to happen unless you just, I don't know, meet a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow or something. You got to set a goal and decide what you want to achieve. My goal, I probably could, on the salary that I make and my wife make, we probably could pay for all of our necessities and save for college and everything else, or college for our kid and our 401ks and everything else. And then I probably could take all of our extra money and go buy, I don't know, a brand new BMW M3 or something. But I don't want to, because I want to have my daily driver, my car I drive, plus I want to have the track project. I want to be able to have some extra money to spend on that, or spend on whatever else we might need or want to do. It's all about what your priority is, your current life situation, and figuring out how do you achieve what you want to achieve. I would have loved to have an STI a few years ago when I bought my original WRX, but at the time it just wasn't feasible in a smart way. So I was realistic. I thought about the fact that I can't do the STI right now. I still need or want a new car. You can find WRXs in my price range. At the time, I think I spent like $24,000 for my WRX, and the payment kept me comfortable and it kept me, entertained, and I still had my outlet for car stuff. But in the back of my mind, I knew eventually I want to be able to get the STI. Eventually I want to be able to afford that, my sort of attainable dream car. So I kept that in mind as, I paid off my wife's car, we paid off student loans, whatever. Obviously more money frees up. I made other financial decisions like, dumping more money into retirement, etc. And once I felt like, okay, we've met all of our current financial needs outside of car ownership, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and the STIs are in decent stock right now. I could probably get a reasonable deal on it. I'm gonna go ahead and make that jump. Comfortable enough with my salary and income and all the other expenses that it makes sense. So it doesn't have to be tomorrow. You don't have to go and buy your GTR tomorrow. Maybe it's 2 years from now, maybe it's 10 years from now, but you got to go and make steps now to achieve what you want to do later. And that's true for anything. That's true for you want a better job than you have now. That's true for you want a better house than you have now. That's true you want to get married, whatever. If you want to make your life different than it is, you have to go and take steps to do that. If you just sit around and do nothing, your life's not going to change unless, I don't know, some crazy miracle happens. But for the most part, you got to put an effort to get something out on the other end. So I don't want to rant too long, but can you afford the car you want? Yes. Maybe it's going to take time. Maybe it can happen tomorrow because you have whatever, an endless supply of money. But everybody's path is different to achieve the car or the goal that they want in life. Success is defined differently by basically every person you'll ever meet. And success is what you put into it. If you put in effort and you make the decisions to gain financial responsibility and gain the best car you can get, etc., you are doing something to achieve your goal. And your goal is a lot easier to achieve when you're putting effort into achieving it. So dudes, I hope that helps. Go look up the car you want, do some research, figure out what it's going to cost you, and then start setting goals to achieve whatever it is. Whether it might not be a car, it might just be buying a house or moving out of your parents' house, whatever. Set some goals, figure out how you can achieve it, and then actually work to achieve it. That's the easiest step. Go do it. Go back to school. Go find a different job. Whatever you got to do to achieve it, you can do it. You just got to start taking steps. It might not be a short road. It might be a long road. But if you want it, you can figure out how to do it. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it work. All right? We'll be back in the garage soon. I got to do a review video on this very car we're sitting at 5,400 miles. So I'm going to do a kind of a 5,000 mile review and just talk about the general ownership experience. All right. I hope you enjoyed. A little bit different video. Give me a thumbs up or a like or a comment or a subscribe if you're into it. And I hope I'll see you around. Hope I'll talk to you in the comments. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.